Hey guys, it's Danny. Welcome back to Creepy Crafty Days, where I'm sharing 31 days of videos all month long. Today I am doing a video that I've never done before, and I'm really excited about it. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. Hopefully it is not a huge fail, but we will all find out together just how well this project turns out. But for today's video, I thought it would be fun to try my hand at another YouTuber's crafty tutorial. So I don't know if you guys follow Jennifer, who runs Sea Lemon. It's a really big crafty channel. If you guys don't follow her, I will leave her link down below. But she's amazing. She has all sorts of really creative and fun projects over on her channel. But when I saw this project last year, I wanted to do it so badly. I just didn't have the time. So I thought, why not give it a try today? So we're all going to see just how well I can make this Hocus Pocus book. I think it is so amazing. So let's all see how I do. So I'm gonna follow her tutorial, do what she says. I have pretty much the same supplies that she talks about using, so we're gonna give it a go. You guys can see kind of in this close-up shot how detailed her Hocus Pocus themed book is. So we're gonna try to recreate this. Hopefully it's not a huge fail. If it is, we can all laugh along at me together, myself included. But let's go ahead and give this a try, and let's see how well I can follow her crafty tutorial. So for her project, she actually used like a real book, but I found this book box at Michael's, so I want to try to use this instead. I think it would be really fun and make a nice decor piece, and then I could store stuff inside. She also recommended a foam ball or a fake eyeball. I could not find either, so I'm just going to make my own like circular round eyeball shape using this air dry clay. She also called for acrylic paint and a couple of shades of brown, so I've got these. She also suggested a black one too, so I've got those. She used paper towels to create the texture of her book. Mine has kind of a strange print on it, so I'm gonna have to get kind of creative to hopefully make this look like human skin. I don't know, we shall find out. I will also be needing some Mod Podge, apparently, some brushes. I did forget, I also have some silver paint here. Hopefully it will be okay. She called for magnets, but they're optional for closure. I didn't get any because my book actually already has like a magnet closure in it, so I don't need to worry about that. I will also need to heat up my glue gun at some point, use glue sticks. She also called for hinges. I don't think I'm gonna do hinges. I don't really need to because my book, it's like a box that closes automatically. So I think the hinge will just be kind of decorative. And then she also called for some puffy paint. So I'm guessing this is puffy paint. I don't know. I couldn't find like where it said puffy paint, but this is dimensional fabric paint. So I'm hoping this will be okay. So yeah, oh, and also some clay. I don't think she did put it in her description. So I've got this. I could not find the kind that she was calling for, the Model Magic, so I got this Model Air. I hope it's all right. So we shall see. So let's go ahead and get started and start making this book thing. Okay, so here you can see that she's using a cookbook. Like I said, I am using this book box. So that will be fun to see how that turns out. This is that foam eyeball she was talking about, so maybe I should go ahead and make the little eyeball shape. That way it can dry and I can work on painting it. So here I've got my book, and I opened up the clay so that I could try to make an eyeball shape. So I just kind of want to see like how big I want the actual eyeball to be. So I'm going to kind of scroll back to her picture just to kind of get a gauge for like how large the eyeball on her book is. Okay, so maybe like a little bit more clay to roll this up, I suppose. Make my own little eyeball shape because I could not find the foam balls. All right, so there's kind of a round eyeball-y shape. I don't think it has to be super perfect since there will be other kind of layering of things going on. And then I figure once this is dried a little bit and is a little bit more firm, maybe I can cut some of the back off. Or maybe I could try that now. I don't know, I'm scared. So I don't want it to be like super dimensional. Okay, so I feel like that's probably a little bit better. So I've got that kind of situation going on. All right, so I feel like that'll be okay. All right, so what was the next step. I think she went ahead and painted the eyeball, but because mine is not dry yet, I think I will go ahead and skip the painting of it part. All right, so here she is making marks on her book so that she knows where to add the stitching lines. So I'm just gonna follow hers and hopefully it'll be okay. Let's go ahead and get started. So I feel like the eye is gonna be, where are you gonna go, eye? Like right there maybe? Alright. So I'm actually gonna get a black marker and do this so that I can see a little bit easier where things are. So that way you guys can see too. So that's where the eye is gonna go. Alright, so that is the beginning of my book. And then here on the sides, it looks like she's drawing like 5 little half circle things, I think for the fingers. So let me go ahead and do that. Okay. Got those. I'm not gonna do the back. I might just paint it like the solid color. And now she's getting some paper towels, which I do have. Mod Podge, which I've got. Oh, okay, so she's like ripping out the same shapes of this in paper towel. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and do that, I think. So got this. So my paper towel has like, ooh, says Bounty on it. There's like weird patterns, but I noticed that on the back there's not really that strange pattern, so I'm just gonna go with this side up, I suppose. All right, and then try to start tearing it like she's doing in her video. All right, and then she's going to glue them down with the Mod Podge. Okay, it's kind of hard to see where the lines are. I'm glad I used the marker because I wouldn't be able to see it all if I did not. All right, so kind of like that is that piece. I'm gonna set that aside for a hot second. I'm curious, do you guys follow a lot of crafty DIY tutorials on YouTube? I want to know because I typically do not follow that many. I kind of like to figure things out on my own, but I know there's a lot of people that probably really like following someone else's kind of path or whatever. I just like making the tutorials. And then what did she do? She was gluing down the pieces to their spots. Okay, so I have a little container here. I have my Mod Podge. All right, so I'm gonna pour some of this in here. Whoa, comes out very quickly. Oh my goodness. All right, because I don't mind just chucking. Whoa, it's like super runny. Why? All right, so got that. So I guess I can go ahead and start. Alright, and then one more piece. Did she actually put one here? Probably not. I messed it up. Okay, and then I think she put more Mod Podge on there and then like mushed the things around. Yeah, I messed that up. Oops, messed it up already. On here to make it look like more like skin-like, I guess. 'Cause she was using the paper towel to make like wrinkles and things. Make it look like skin-like. I guess kind of like that, I suppose. I don't know. I'm gonna keep going with it, see what I can do. Okay, so I've got some of these done. Some of these panels, you can see kind of the texture that I've got going so far. So I think that's what we want. So let me go ahead and do this one kind of live with you guys because I kind of figured out the best way, for me anyway, to work with it. So I've been putting a lot of the Mod Podge along kind of the seams. And then working with those first seems to help me the most. So I just kind of pile it on those edges where the pieces of paper towel meet. And then I kind of go along where I know the seam is. And you can see how that makes like kind of a nice ridge there along the edge. So I think that's what we want because we want it to look like it's kind of more pieces of human skin like sewn together or something. So that's how I've been doing it, just to add a little bit more texture. You could even like roll back the pieces a little bit to create like a space there if you want. That's how I've found it easiest to work with. So maybe that will help you guys if you decide to do this for yourselves. Then I'll go and add some more Mod Podge to the centers and kind of create some texture in there. So let's go ahead and do that real quick. So again, you just add like quite a bit on here. This is how I've found it easiest to do, to get the paper towel like really nice and wet. Okay, and then you just kind of run your fingers and make some little like squishy marks. So some like little wrinkles in the paper towel. So I'm not going to worry about the corners as much because there will be some like little like snake things that go there, but here you can see kind of some texture I've got going. So this whole little area is very textured, and then you can see like I've got some little wrinkles and stuff going in the paper towel. So I think that's kind of the point. I think I'm doing it right. So I've got the front of my book done. I think she also does the sides. So let's see, she's putting the eyeball on, but I have to wait on that. So yeah, she put like little half round things for where the fingers will go. So let me go ahead and do that. Add plenty of Mod Podge on and around it, and then kind of smush it around. So it makes that circular, roundish kind of shape that she did on hers. So let me go ahead and do that a few more times. Okay, so this is what the front of my book looks like. This is what the side looks like so far. So I think at this point she starts to sculpt out like all the detail pieces. So I'm going to set this aside to dry and start working on this. Right, so she's got clay, which I have. And then what is she doing? Okay, so she's rolling out like a long piece, and I'm guessing, okay, so that's going to become like part of the spine of the book. So I really don't know how much of this clay I really need. I do need to make sure that whatever I wind up rolling out will be kind of the length of my book. If I do from this point down to here, I should be good. It looks like hers is actually pretty thin. So maybe I have like too much clay here. I don't know. So I wonder how she got it flat, because I didn't see that part. She rolled it out. And then, oh, I guess she flattened it and then took the edges off. Okay, this is hard to do. That's about almost the right length I need. And I guess I can go ahead and flatten it. I'm not sure how wide to make it. That's the only thing. So let me go back and take a look at hers. Okay, so hers doesn't look too terribly wide. I also don't want mine to be crazy wide. So flatten it out a little bit more, and then we can cut off the excess. I have a ruler. There, there. Like so. Okay, and one more. All right, so there is that piece. Cool. All right, let's go back. Where we were, so modeling. All right, and then she made like a snake shape to go on top of that. Okay. So this needs to be a little bit longer because it has to get like curvy and stuff. All right, there's kind of my snake shape. So I guess I will go ahead and pop this on here. I feel like my snake is really fat. Let's get it a little bit more skinny. All right, so I think this will be fine. Mr. Snakey. Oh. All right, so that is that guy. And the little texture bits. All right, so did she put texture, I think, all over the snake, right? All right, so I've got this snake done, so now I need to do these little swirly snaky bits. Ooh, she goes so quickly. Oh my goodness. Okay, let's try that again. Okay, so I got my snake done. All right, so she does like a loop on top of like a rounded corner thing, and then adds texture again. Okay, I think I can do that. All right, so I'm just going to have this kind of reference picture appear for me. I'm gonna go ahead and do the little like roundy corner thing real quick. Make sure that those are the right size before trying to figure out the whole snaky loopy bit. All right, so figure that's pretty good, right? I don't know. All right, so let's go ahead and do another one. Place this one on top, trace it. Those little dudes. All right, now for the snaky guys. So I have no idea how long piece I need. Okay, so it's kind of like a pretzel. Okay, so something like that looks kind of about right. Like that, I think. I don't know. I'm gonna go ahead and do the other one though. All right, so I've got both of the little snake corner things done. So now I'm gonna add this texture. So I have the texture on those little guys. I think they also too have eyes. I don't know. I'm going to put some on just because I can. All right. Some eyes on those little dudes. All right, so those look pretty cool. I'm gonna let all these dry. So now I need to work on the hinge or loop thing that goes around my eyeball. So I'm going to make like an oval shape and then add some texture to it. So I have my eyeball here to make sure that I'm making it big enough, and then I'll pull my book over here in just a second once I think I'm close. Now for her little hinge latch thing, I'm not going to be doing it quite the same way because my book does already have the magnet in it. So I don't have to worry about like an actual functioning hinge or anything. So I think I'm just going to make this oval shaped piece and then just glue it onto the front of the book so that it has the appearance that it's a hinge, but I don't actually have to worry about creating a hinge. So I think that's what I'm going to do. So let's see how I'm doing as far as length for my little hingey thing, my oval piece. Maybe something like that. Grab my book. I'm just going to set this gently on here to make sure that I'm like close to the right size. This size, I think. So that is my little circular piece to go around the eye, and then I need like kind of like a little faux hingy bit. So that looks like it's kind of longer shape that kind of wraps around it. So let's try to do something like that. So it looks like it's kind of wider and then kind of narrows down a little bit. I feel like that actually looks pretty good like that. And let me test it on my book to see where I need to cut the little hinge part off. There's that. My little eyeball will fit right in there. So I'm doing pretty good on the pieces, I think. Oh, I still need little fingers. Oh, just when I thought I was done, I need fingers. Oh, she does put like little dots in this thing too. Let me flatten it out a little bit like she did. That I think will be good. And then I think she had like some kind of circular thing here at the tippy top. I think I'm just going to use end of a cap maybe for that. I will be painting this, so it doesn't really matter if it gets kind of messy. Alright, so there's that. I think fingers are next. Should I do the fingers up? There are the fingers. Okay, so I need like 5 little finger dudes. Alright, let me get on top of that. Let me grab my book again so I can see kind of how long these fingers need to be. Alright, so there is one of my janky fingers, so I'm going to go ahead and make the rest of them. Okay, so these are all of the clay pieces that I need for the book. So these need to dry for 24 hours, so I'm going to set these aside until tomorrow, and then we'll come back and we'll add some paint and start kind of putting things together. Alright, so now it is the next day. I let these all dry overnight. Now everything is now hard and ready to be painted. So it looks like she's going to start painting the book. So I'm going to move this stuff aside, and I'm going to put some paper towels down just to kind of protect my surface a little bit, and then bring my book over. So this is dry as well. You can see that the paper towels got a little bit clear, but it feels really cool, really funky. So let's go ahead and see what she does. She has her 3 acrylic paints, and then she's going over kind of the stitching areas with the black paint, so I think I will go ahead and do that as well. I have a little piece of packaging here just to kind of use as a palette. So let's go ahead and pop some of this paint in here. Use a paintbrush. And I guess start painting on these lines where these are. And it looks like she tried to do a pretty good coat of this to get all the little nooks and crannies painted in. So I'm gonna try to do a good job too. All right, so I went ahead and added the black paint to the front of my box. And I think it looks super creepy right now. I also did the sides too. I think she showed that as well. And then I've also started painting the edges of the box. So I'm going to try to make like it look like an actual book. So I'm gonna paint like the cover of the book on the back and stuff, and on these inner edges like solid black, I think, maybe with a little bit of distressing or whatever. And then I'm trying to make the pages look kind of like pages, like old worn pages. So we shall see how that goes. So let me go ahead and finish painting this, and then I'm going to set it aside to dry completely before I come back in with the brown paints. So I will see you guys then. All right, so I've got the first layer of black on my book, and it looks like now she is starting to paint these things. So I think the fingers, she does brown. Yeah, so these are gonna be brown, so I'll do those next. Oh, and I need to do the eye. Oh my gosh, I have so much to do. Okay, so I'm going to paint all the black things since my paintbrush is already dirty with black paint. So I think I'm going to do that first. So I think she says everything metal needs to be painted black first. It's kind of an underlayer, so I'm going to do that. And then I think I will start working on these other little bits, okay? Alright, so I've got the base layers of everything done. I did finish painting the eye. I think it looks pretty cool, so I'm excited about that. But it looks like she added some highlights to the little fingers, so I'm going to do that, and then I think I will go in and add the silver highlights to the black pieces to make them look more like they're metal. So let's go ahead and do that. So as you can see, she's like brushing the silver on top of the black pieces to give them a more antique look. All right, so I asked Spency if he had any silver paint, and he did. So maybe we could try this one. Hopefully it's not as crazy sparkly, because I mean, look how like, this one is just like too glittery. Can you see that? It's like too glittery, and I don't want it to be glittery. I just want it to be metallic. So let's try this again. Okay, moment. Oh, I'm so nervous. Alright, so Jennifer just went over her stuff super lightly with the metallic to make sure to leave like all the pitted areas to make it look like it was more textured. I'm going to try to do the same. That is how it's looking so far. That looks really, really cool. I'm so happy. Okay. I think I'm going to add a little bit more silver just to kind of the top to give it even more dimension. Alright, so there is that. That looks amazing. I'm not even going to like try to be humble. Like, that looks really, really cool. Alright, so let me go ahead and do these other snaky guys. These are the completed painted pieces so far. I think these metal looking ones look freaking amazing. I am so happy with these. I cannot even. So anyway, I'm gonna set this stuff aside and bring the book back over. So as you can see, all the paint has dried, I went ahead and painted this side as well, and then I also painted the interior edges of the bottom part. I still need to paint like the inside cover, and I think I might paint the actual inside just a plain black as well. You can see I started to work on like the fake pages of it, just to get a little bit of dimension going there. So let's go ahead and get this eye situation done, because it needs to be on there, and I need to put some more paper towel around it, and it's going to be like a whole thing. So I want to get that done so I can set it aside to dry, and yeah, kind of keep making progress on this project. I think I'm just going to go ahead and put a little bit of Tombow adhesive on the back here, because it just needs to hold it in place and keep it in place while it dries, because there will be paper towel and Mod Podge kind of helping to hold the eyeball in place. So I'm not too worried about this, but I am going to place a good amount of this Tombow adhesive on the back, and then just pop the eye on there. I think that will be good. I think that's a good spot for it, but I am going to test it with the hinge just to make sure. Yeah, that looks good. I don't mind the hinge kind of. Should it be a little bit more hanging offy? Maybe a little bit. So maybe I'll scooch this eyeball over just a smidge. That. I feel like that looks pretty good so far. And you can see like how awesome this is gonna be. So let me go ahead and let this dry. And once it is, we'll kind of continue painting. All right, so when she's putting the eyeball on, she's using paper towel and kind of layering it over it so it makes like an eyelid. So I'm going to do that as well right now. All right, so I use more of the Mod Podge. Put it around, maybe a little bit on the eyeball too, just to help hold things in place. All right, so I've got the bottom eyelid right here. So I'm going to put that on. Okay, and then I have this eyelid that I've made. It's just a piece of paper towel that I put a couple folds in. It should kind of go like that, I'm thinking. I think that'll be all right. I don't know. Okay, I'm gonna add some more Mod Podge. Actually, I might just use this brush and then wash it really good. So I'm just trying to make sure that the paper towel is pretty soaked through, because I don't want it to get messed up. And I'm going to kind of mess with it to kind of change the texture from the paper toweliness to like skin looking. I'm gonna kind of repeat the process of making like the wrinkles around the edge of the eye. I feel like that looks pretty good. So there is my eye. So I think I'm gonna set this aside to dry. Actually, this doesn't look quite like droopy enough. I don't know. I think that's fine. So I'm gonna set this aside to dry and then come back and start painting all the brown. Alright, so as you can see, I painted the front of the book. YouTube was down, so I couldn't show you this at the same time, but I basically did the same thing she did, which was fill in with like a darker kind of brown and then go over it with a lighter brown just to create some texture. Now, my book is a lot darker than hers, which is fine. I just picked out the wrong colors, I think, but I think it still looks really freaking creepy and I kind of love it. It looks like more like sinister than the one in the movie, which I think is super fun. So yeah, so I went ahead and just did all the painting on it for the texture and all that. I think it turned out really, really fun. So I think the next step is to, all right, so she went ahead and hot glued all the little pieces on there, so I think I will do that next, and then after that I think she does little puffy paint stitches. So let me go ahead, fire up my glue gun so we can start assembling this little guy. All right, so the hot glue was not working, so I'm going to use some E6000 and hopefully that will work. I'm not sure why the hot glue is peeling up so badly. That's all right, we'll just we'll kind of make do with a different plan. So I've got E6000. Only kind of bummer with using like a wet glue is that I'm gonna have to wait for it to dry, which I was kind of looking forward to not having to wait for it to dry, but that's okay. All right, let's try this again. That guy on there. And then I guess we can do the little sneaky dudes. All right. I'm just gonna scooch this back a little bit. Time for this dude. Doesn't it look so cool, you guys? I'm so excited. You have no idea. Alright, so let's go ahead and do a little latch thing. So this is not a functioning hinge, it's just decorative. I feel like that's okay. This goes right here. Okay. Ah, he's looking so amazing. Oh my gosh, I die a little bit. Okay, super cute. So that is what we've got going on so far. I think I'm gonna let this kind of dry for a little while before I go in and do the fingers. I just want to make sure that this stuff doesn't fall off when I prop the book up to put the fingers on. So I will be back once I feel this is all sufficiently dry, and then we will do the fingers. All right, so my book is all glued up. I will turn it over and stuff when it's all dry, but I want to go ahead and paint the back a little bit just to make it flow a little bit more into the front of the book. I also need to touch up some of this brown paint, so I'm going to go ahead and do that now. I'm just kind of lightly brushing this brown paint on here. Just wanted it to look nice from all the different sides, so you just kind of feel like that just kind of pulls it together a little bit more. And then, like I mentioned, I'm going to kind of fill in the little white spaces that are on the back side of the fingers. And I find that the E6000 worked really well for me as far as gluing the things down. So maybe if you're having trouble with the hot glue like I was, maybe you can try the E6000. You can see the fingers, which I think look kind of cool. And I would say if you make one of these books yourself, go ahead and paint all the way around the fingers just so you don't have to do this step that I'm having to do. Ooh, you can see a little sneaky peek. Alright, so I'm going to let the back of this dry just a little bit more, and then I'll flip it over and we can see the top. Alright, so once the things are all glued, which mine are now, this is the next day, she uses some puffy paint to make like little stitches. So I'm going to do that. Hopefully this works out okay. I did some little tester stitches and I think it'll be okay. So let me go ahead and do that and then let it dry, and then I will show you that. I think that'll be all of it. So we'll come back and check it out when I've got all this on there. Alright, so this is her finished book, and I think it is super duper cute, and it was definitely the look I was going for. And then this is mine. I love it so much, you guys. I am so super proud of it. I think it turned out amazing and pretty darn close to what I had envisioned in my mind of it looking like. Mine is a little bit darker in the leathery color than hers, but I kind of dig it anyway. I think it makes it look a little bit more creepy and stuff. So this is my finished project. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I think it was super fun to try someone else's tutorial and try to follow it as best I could and see how it turned out. But that is it for today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will leave a link to the tutorial I used down below, and definitely go check out Sea Lemon's channel and subscribe to her if you are not yet. Also make sure to subscribe to my channel if you're not already. I'm doing 31 days of videos all October long. If you're interested in seeing any kind of behind the scenes things or extra videos or anything like that, I do have a Patreon crafty club, and I do have some behind the scenes footage of this project over there. So again, I will leave all the links down below for you guys. Again, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in tomorrow's video. Bye! Thank you so much for watching today's video. I hope that you loved it. If you missed yesterday's, you can click up here. If you want to join in all the fun crafty shenanigans happening over in the Crafty Club this month, you can click right here. And if you want to subscribe, which I really hope you do, thank you so much in advance, you can click right here, and I will see you guys in tomorrow's video. Bye!